Welcome back, gamers. This is Vraf204 with,
Ave.
and we are back with another one. Uh, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Um, First video and then first of the day. We want to talk about this Steam and Valve. What have they been doing this past like week and a half? They've been all over the news, everywhere. Um, and what I predicted on my videos and what I said that was gonna happen is happening. So, Steam just announced their. I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now. Steam has announced their new console, um, the Steam Machine, which also comes with a controller, and they also announced a VR headset. That's just overall. What do you think about what do you think about this? Or like little quick little thing. V, what do you think about what's going on?
Yeah, that was fucking things that they ever thought of. They already had all those things before done, and
Yeah,
nothing
with the
really.
old Steam Machine, right? The old one.
Steam machine. They have a VR headset and they have a controller. None of which kind of well, except probably the most successful was the VR headset because it was state of the art at that point. This
Yeah,
one
yeah.
is kind of also honestly out of all things to me the most promising is the VR headset. All things considered, to it looks like a great deal compared to anything
Oh,
else.
we're
But
gonna talk about
yeah,
pricing. We have to talk about that later, but we'll talk. Let's just go through the thing. First of all, the identity of this whole thing right here is it starts with the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck is the form factor. The controller looks exactly like the Steam Deck. If you hold the Steam Deck, you'll know what you're gonna get yourself into. So basically, I think that's why they had like a bit of a identity crisis when it came to the old Steam machine and the old controller and the old VR set. They didn't have like a identity like how they have now. Like I think they figured it out. Um, with all these products coming out, they all look like family. Like they all look like they're related.
they all
Um,
look generic and uninspired.
I like it. I like everything that I'm seeing so far from Valve, and becoming a new PC player. And I'm getting this right now, like after a year of me being on PC. It's very exciting to me. Well, 2 years now, I think, almost 2 years of me, experiencing Valve and Steam and everything that the PC gaming world has to offer. I'm very excited for this. I will not. Well, I'll tell you later on if I'm gonna get it or not. But yeah, does that? It starts with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck gives the whole identity, the whole family thing. What do you think about? Let's go right into it. What do you think about the Steam Machine? What do you think about this? The new Steam Machine.
Yeah, well, as I said, everything already had been done before. The Steam machine, they already tried, doing it with the whatever the first iteration of that concept, and no one gave a shit about it then, because well, for multiple reasons, I guess. One of the reasons, also interestingly enough, I was watching the videos about it, is that the way they I guess made it the from the production side I suppose they basically it was like a license because
Yeah.
remember if the first Steam machine was really not from Steam or Valve themselves it was part of a collaboration with Alienware actually and that's why probably having it was it flew under the radar because well
Hmm.
Alienware is known for it's not so fair pricing I guess
Yeah,
and
my PC is actually Alienware. And my
yeah,
everything is actually Alienware here. Keyboard,
y-
screen.
yeah, and
But I think at that time it was a little bit different compared to now.
yeah, yeah, and you're a chump for having that, because that's the whole point of Alienware is just it's just your regular PC components, but it's just with the extra price tag on it and a fancy package. Since you're a console player, you understand how that works. We all know that. But regardless, but
Whatever.
regardless, yeah, I'm not really particularly excited because again I see it as a repeating basically the same thing. Yeah, they try to because clearly I mean obviously they know what they're doing. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
they already did that before. So maybe the strategy here is a little different now. They probably right banking on the fact that we have a lot of console refugees coming to a PC market and for for that, that PC is also, becoming one of the, Steam, at least, it become one of the, biggest platforms for to play the games.
Yeah, yeah.
Statistically, right? Everyone saw the news. We're gonna cover the news, right? And and
Well,
also and also for the fact that it's the form factor, I guess, is what's really,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, main selling point.
Spring to
Uh, in-
2026.
including form factor, and the probably, which is the biggest question, is the pricing, and assuming all the, specs, and I guess again form factor, and the direction they looking at, is it's gonna be, they will try to, make it as cheap as possible. Again, looking at the Steam Deck, the whole, you can argue that the reason why it was so successful is because it was, so affordable in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Well, yeah, compared to all the other handhelds, PC handhelds, in general, are all about, like, well, the high spec ones are all like $800 to $1,000, especially the ROG Ally X, Xbox X. That's $1,000. And you make a great point when it comes to affordability with Steam. That's what I've been seeing from them, recently. Like, I mean, well, I don't really, I'm not, I learned a lot from Steam later on, when I started getting into PC gaming. But yeah, they look like they're for the fans, and that's what I like the most about Steam. That they're for the fans. They don't have to answer to anybody. They just do what they do. They don't even put their devices. I was wondering. Remember, I was like, why the Steam Deck is not on in Best Buy or Amazon, or, like, I mean, is it on Amazon, but it's sold by a third party? But it's like, why is it not like in all the stores, like in Walmart? Why you can't just walk into Walmart and buy a Steam Deck? Like, that's like weird. And then it's because their motto is like, buy it off of us. We cut out the middleman. It's, we have it on our stores. It's all for them, profit for them, and then we get a cheap cut. So I think that's the reason. But getting back to the machine, the Steam Deck machine, I think this is huge news when it comes to console gaming. With console players, like I told you before in the other video. I'm gonna actually link that one down below. The video we predicted all of this stuff that was gonna happen. And it's the fact that people are actually starting to be more smart. Like V said, everybody's dumb, but starting to be more smart, and smart with their wallets, and just like know what's going on in gaming right now. They're really trying to eat us alive when it comes to our wallets, and taking every little penny and putting us in subscription service, making us pay for internet while paying for internet from your home. It's like, that's ridiculous. So PlayStation and Xbox, they got something, they gotta change it up, or else, because this I don't think, like, for me, I don't think this thing has to be that powerful either. you know it just has to run, the latest and greatest games at a reasonable settings, and then you're fine. Like the Steam Deck, the reason the Steam Deck is so good is, like, it runs every game. Yeah, it's not gonna look perfect. Yeah, it's not gonna look like high end, but you can run it. And you could also do way more than that. You could just emulate. You can install any OS that you want. I'm gonna stick to the Steam OS. I like that. And it's skipping, like, Windows. It's like, you don't get the bloatware where that comes from Windows, and you know how that is, right? So, but yeah, I'm very excited with the Steam machine itself, and where it's going, and how all these console refugees are gonna, it's already showing that people are buying their PCs and everything and all of that. And I'll ask that question later on, for who's this product for. I'll ask that later on. We'll answer that later on. Let's move on to the controller. Let's see, what do you think about the controller? What do you think about this thing?
It sucks. It looks
Sucks.
disgusting. Yeah,
I
well,
really like it. I really like it.
I really don't, and I don't understand why they choose squares instead of fucking circles.
The
Like,
trackpads of the Steam Deck, it's like
yeah,
that. So they're kind of like
yeah,
keeping that formula of the
yeah.
controller.
Yeah. Because the thing is that it made sense on a Steam Deck, because of the, because of how it's designed. You cannot put circles on the Steam Deck, you have to put squares because they're more, space efficient like that. But if you're making a controller, why would you put a fucking squares like that? Because they look disgusting. Unless, right, obviously, I mean, I
Or
could argue is that maybe they're producing those controllers in exactly the same factory and they have exactly same fucking machines that are printing those trackpads. So why would they start switching it up if they can save money by using the same exact fucking blueprint? But hey, it's a little too much of a discussion, I guess, for this fucking channel. But regardless, yeah, it look also. I mean, I believe whoever engineered that thing is they went through trial and errors and eventually they solidify their choice to have it designed like this. But you look at any controller, the main features of a controller is that those extended long legs, right?
yeah,
Because of those track pads, you see in the middle, those legs are very much shorter. So I'm not really sure how good it will gonna feel in their hands. I mean, that's the thing. I'm
back
sure
pads.
it's gonna feel just fine,
Yeah,
acceptable, I guess.
yeah.
But still, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have the original Steam controller compared to that one. Pretty sure this is
Yeah.
an improvement, correct?
Well, I'm sure
Like that one, you
the
have that
spec.
one, right?
Yeah, I'm sure the
Mhm.
spec wise, it's a little improvement. Do you see still that the legs are a little bigger and
Mhm.
it's more of a classic style of a controller than this one. This is more of a elongated, more of a I don't know. It looks like a fucking brick. That's what it looks like.
So,
Uh,
view-wise, I mean, the way it looks ridiculous. But how do you think it's gonna feel like in your hand? I mean, I know you're not a controller player. You're mouse and keyboard. I get it. But you can appreciate the feel of a controller. Or what do you think? How you think
yeah,
it's gonna feel?
yeah. Well, clearly the reason why I designed it like this is that and I saw some videos. People were complaining because on a previous controller there was only one stick thing. I don't know
Yeah.
what I call this. Only one, and on the usual controllers there are always two. So that's why they put those two together there, and they still want to keep the trackpads, I guess, also present. So because that's what those are really the only one distinguishing feature, and Valve being Valve, try to slowly but surely convert everyone to a PC. Try to try to teach those console baby refugees how to actually use a PC, even though through this little twisted ways, like that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just they as I said, I trust, I guess, engineers who design that they know what they're doing. But nothing
Yeah.
about this, honestly, to me seems like a fucking good idea. But
To me,
hey, my opinion.
as a console refugee, um, to me, I think it's amazing. I think it looks great. I love my favorite controller right now when it comes to PC gaming. I use an Xbox controller, um, and I love it. I was not a fan of the
Is this an
PlayStation.
Xbox layout or a PlayStation?
What? This layout? This
The
layout more of a, well. Here's the funny part. The layout is a PlayStation layout with a PlayStation controller, where the two joysticks are, at the bottom, where the joysticks are offset when it comes to the Xbox controller. So
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with the Xbox controller. I'm used to it. I love the two joysticks on one on the left hand side and the other one. But and, I played a lot of PlayStation back in my days, and yeah, this controller is gonna fit right into my comfort zone. But I love it. I can tell I'm gonna love the controller. Yeah, it looks super big, but I've been waiting to find like my controller. I've been looking at Elite controllers. I've been looking at. I mean, not that I have anything wrong with the Xbox controller, but I think I want to upgrade it. I want to have a more premium feel to my controller. So I think this controller right here is perfect for me. I think I'm gonna love it, and like me going into the ecosystem of Steam and going full force for the next couple of years, because I'm not gonna go back to console anymore. I think this is great for me for a start, and I'm definitely gonna get that day one, the controller.
No.
Yeah.
Now that I look at those ads, no one used those fucking trackpads.
No,
But hey,
no, no.
yeah.
I think because because I do use it on the Steam Deck, the trackpads, but I use it when I go to like when I switch to Linux, the to the Windows. That's desktop mode.
File
Uh,
browsing.
yeah, and then I do my whole emulation thing. I use that. I had to before. I was using a mouse and keyboard. I connected it directly to the Steam Deck, with a little adapter, and then I'm like, why don't you just use these things? And I figured out how to use them, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to. If I want to download something, I just boom, 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 and I use the trackpads. So I learned how to use the trackpads and the controller and everything. So it was like very easy. So I can see how they're implementing it to the big screen when you're sitting down on your couch and you're playing with the Steam controller and the Steam machine on. How people are gonna navigate and move around, especially in games that require mouse and keyboard or whatever. So I can see how people are gonna be okay with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think this controller is for PC players. I think it's more targeted for console players to come over and be like, "Hey, look, we got something for you. You guys want the ease of use? Here you go." But
Yeah,
we'll
it's
talk
like
about that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. No, it's like those exercises, when you go to a gym, how it was a corrective exercises, right? Console, console refugee babies, they, their, their mouse muscles are atrophied. They
Mhm.
don't know how to use mouses, okay? And Valve coming out with like a controller for disabled people, basically try to relearn them, how to do
No,
how
it's
to use
actually
proper tools.
is actually pretty good. It has, well, what it has 4 buttons, I think, in the back. It has Hall effect sensors on the Joy-Con, the joysticks, which means it won't ever have a stick drift or anything like that. So it's gonna last longer. The battery life is amazing. I think it's like about 6-hour battery life before you need to charge it. I like the charger. I like the way I'm gonna have that connected right there. Boom, just grab it and just keep playing. Like it's gonna be a great experience with that controller. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna snatch it up, and I'm gonna be one of them, bro. Like, it looks, it's perfect for me. That's exactly what I wanted. But for other people, I don't know. And like I said, this is target. We'll talk about that. Who's the target for in the next one? But yeah, it looks amazing. Let's move on to the VR set. Right. Let's talk about VR. Do you like? First of all, I don't even know V. Are you into VR? You have a VR
Yeah, I have
headset?
I have a VR, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So the VR headset. What do you think about this one? What do you think about
Yeah,
the
well, out of a three, those are three things. I think VR is one probably will be the most exciting and probably the most, not just a revolutionary, but most, most promising piece
I really
piece
like
of
the look of
item
it.
that they presented. Yes, all the things that from what I seen about it, that the fact that it's wireless for once, the fact that obviously you don't need those stations from like the old one, even though there's benefits and there's pros and cons for both styles, I guess.
Hmm.
But I suppose that here they more clearly the idea of this release from Ralph is convenience, mass appeal, and
I like this right here. I like this big screen, 100-inch screen that you can put.
yes, basically they try to because arguably if you think if you were kind of involved in the discussions about VR, there's a lot of things that people are like wondering why VR failed.
Yeah.
Obviously, for the reasons that it's a little too expensive, maybe for entry, because you have to have a not only have to have a good VR headset, you also have to good PC to run it in the first place. Then you have to have a space for it. Speaking of those stations, because you need to move around and stuff. So it's a very niche market like
I
that.
really
And
like the way.
clearly,
Look at that.
in this iteration, compared to their previous one, they try to because arguably, if again, if you are into this those discussions about why VR failed, one of the bigger and main points of VR is that it's high cost for entry.
Yeah.
So and not only that, I mean, also right there's no games to play in the first place for VR, but let's skip that part. But point is that not only it's a high cost for entry, also problem is that like with any technology, honestly, the idea is kind of like at some point any type of a technology, regardless of how revolutionized it is, like smartphones or whatever, someone has to make a affordable version that that gets to as many hands as possible, and then people start slowly changing their mind.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
like kind of like what happened with the smartphones, right? Remember
right.
the Steve Jobs
Yeah, yeah.
announced the iPhone, and guess what? And now we live basically in an age where you're stupid not to fucking have a smartphone, compared to a button, phone,
I heard
basically.
they're bringing back the flip phones for people to like stop doom scrolling.
Yeah, it all goes back and forth culture. But regardless, yes, this is basically what Valve is trying to do with his headset. Try to make it as affordable,
Yeah, yeah. And
as useful, as
you can
convenient.
install directly to it. Install games directly
Yes,
to it.
and that's another also part, right? There's a chip, processor there, so you can play games only on VR without requiring a PC. Which is, I wonder how they're gonna do it. I wonder if the power of the headset will contribute, like adapt together with the power of PC to make a games run a little better than if it didn't exist. But point is that yeah, the fact that it's wireless, it's trackless. I guess you don't have to
Hmm.
worry about tracking. You just put that shit on. There's also right they showed the technology of how to optimize. Which will lead obviously to a better performance. Also with the open screen, I guess, feature where you can use basically a VR headset as just a screen, like watching
Yeah,
movies and
that's the
stuff.
feature that I like the most right there. That's the feature.
Yeah, all of those things are good things, and honestly, I have a VR set. They're like the cheap fucking HP one,
Hmm.
and you know, yeah, I got it. Okay, it kind of sucks, but it's, as a novelty, why not? But now I'm thinking, if there's anything, if there's anything, if there's a time to buy, I guess a VR, and if you ever wanted to buy VR, it's probably now, and it's probably gonna be this Steam VR, because also I guess we can talk about the price predictions
Yeah,
a
later.
little later. But yeah, I think yeah, the whole idea here is that they're gonna try to sell it basically as cheap as
Yeah.
possible,
Yep.
and that's a good thing.
Okay, okay. For me, I think like I'm not really into like VR like that. I'm more into like I like the fact that that last part right there where the lady is like sitting on like the big screen. This thing right here, I love that. Just having like your own personal screen, like 100 inches. You can play any game like that. So it's
Yeah,
like
speaking of that, also right, let me add that something. Yeah, with
yeah,
the screen, also as much as it's a good feature,
yeah,
big
that
problem with the big problem with VR is its field of view, and it's very like all basically like only the top tier VRs have like a good field of view, and when you put a VR, you will notice that the vision is very narrow. So kind of, even though it's a good feature to have, but depends on. From what I understand, the field of view is not gonna be particularly increased. I think it's just gonna be as a standard. I don't remember what was it, like 140 degrees or something like that. It's
yeah.
it's quite,
They're doing
in my
something with your eyes, like there's something tracking your eyes or something like that.
yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah,
But in my VR, I think my VR have, like, I mean, even less a field of view, but still, the differences is not that different. But point is that at the end of the day, it's very narrow and it's very noticeable. So even though it have ability to have this open screen mode, it's quite, it's quite questionable, really, if it's really gonna be that. But it's a good feature regardless. Anyways, sorry
yeah.
for interrupting.
No, no, it's all right. So yeah, no, I really, like I said, I'm not really into. But this thing right here is really intriguing to me. If I had to like, if I had to get out, we'll talk about prices later. But like, it is to me, it is uh, a buy or sell, or like, I mean, like a buy or not buy for me when it comes to the price, because I just really don't think I need it. I don't think I'm going to use it as much. I have a lot of I think normally people that get VR headset are the people that oh, there's one TV in the house, there's one PC, you have a whole bunch of siblings that are always using it, and you want your own personal space. So I think the VR headset is perfect for you when it comes to that. You don't have that much you know accessibility to the screen, or like they're always using it, everybody's always on it, is always occupied. Like, yeah, I want my own thing. This is perfect for somebody like that. um But yeah, for me, make or break when it comes to the price for me for this, because I don't need it. I can go. I have my screen here. I got my living room screen. Um, I don't need it as much, but it's awesome. It looks great. I think this is a very big step up for VR and for Steam. So, and you can like install games directly to it and all of that. That's amazing. So, yeah, it's a very exciting product. I'm gonna check it out, see how the reviews and everything, and then I'll make a decision maybe one down the line if I ever want one. But these things are gonna sell like hotcakes. They are. I
Yeah,
mean,
now that I think about it, I might actually like get it day one.
like this is one of the things, and it comes with the two controllers as well, like same format. It's really good too. So let's see, man. Let's see. Out of these four, I already own one. So out of these three products, I'm already confirmed with the controller. Uh, the Steam machine, I'm not 100% sure I need it. It's gonna be a great thing to have on the living room, like, and then you kind of take a bit of a hit. I was telling my friends yesterday, I was like, it's good for you guys, but not for me because I have a PC, a very powerful PC. So for me to downgrade just because I'm sitting in the living room and want to play there, I could just connect my PC to my living room TV, and I'm fine. I've been doing that ever since I've gotten it, so I'm perfectly good. But for a console player, like, this is perfect for them, like if they want to, come into the PC world. So Q&A, like, for example, like, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, who is this product for when it comes to, let's say, the Steam machine? Who is this product for? I already kind of said what I said about the Steam machine. Who's it for? What do you think? Who's it for?
Yeah, well, as I said, also, it's for everyone. It's the target of this, campaign that they're running is, get as many people as possible to get those, products, and because clearly, it's they're not boasting with the power, the power of those, all those devices is not the main, main selling point, because because it's like, if you think about any, any selling campaign of any devices, whatever the main point of it is the, main, that's what they always say, and the, if for example, if you see PC or new video cards or new processors, main selling point of those things is the power, how powerful they are, and how much FPS they can show. But clearly they don't, nothing of that sort we can see in this ad campaign. And well, obviously the main selling point here is appeal, mass appeal. Again,
And
to
who do you
get
think
that
is
stuff.
appealing? So you're saying that this for me, for you, this is good for us, people that already have PCs. I mean, you need a new PC, but other than that, uh,
For yeah,
for us,
for anyone who doesn't have, basically.
doesn't have a
Including,
PC.
yeah, including your console refugees, including
I
people
really
who
think
doesn't
it's
have
it's
PC.
just aiming towards them. I really think that, like, it's 100% aiming towards console players, like 100%. Like
I mean, yeah,
my friend saw this and he's already contemplating on buying it. It's instead of buying a PC. He's already thinking about it.
it is because also a specific feature that they showed in again, ad campaign, that and we talked about that feature, that was the when we talked about the PC thing, the video,
Yeah,
the feature, of convenience of turning it on. There,
yeah,
it was literally a point in the video that they said it's a lightning fast boot up. So basically,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, obviously, they try to, get that them refugees from consoles,
I just
those
really, yeah, I just think that
those.
it's just for them. It's really for them because, well, there are PC players that have a shit rig and it's time for them to upgrade to. And I guess this is something that they can upgrade to, but I don't think they want to buy that. I think they want to get a PC. I think they want to just, upgrade their rig.
And also, right, and also don't forget there's a mobile market, right, with the
That
kids and
that too.
whatever, and stuff like that. And if they ever wish to, get some kind of an entry into a
Hmm.
PC, market or games, guess what? Well, Valve coming in hot with, not only saving your poor fucking console refugees that likes to get fucked in the ass. any way they could. But
Hmm.
here's the also they say they kind of helping those those younger people who try to get into PC with that, and that's why I'm saying when you try to appeal to a mass, it doesn't matter really. It's not a really particular target that you try to get at. It's just everyone who's there is basically that target. Obviously, consoles are more of a higher priority target, I guess. But in general, yes, it's just right. It's also about again pricing, right? The cheaper the things are, the more people are gonna have it. It's simple as that.
All right, cool, cool. So I think it's for console players. You think it's for everybody, or mostly for console players. But all right, all right. What do you think? Let's talk about price. Let's talk about how much you think this thing is gonna be. I mean, how much you
Right.
think everything is gonna be? Like not only the Steam machine, but the VR headset and the controller. How much you think?
And I can, probably safely say, like with for example, right? You ironically mentioned that oh, I need to upgrade because my PC, if nobody knows, it's basically, well, the irony is that it's probably exactly the same specs as this particular console, my PC right now,
Mm.
maybe a little less because have
It does have custom chips inside it from AMD,
y-
so it's things that it hasn't been used or like brand new custom chips just for this device, which I think is what they're trying to do for the Xbox and the PlayStation 6 next. So
well,
AMD is on that, form factor, small form factor, and custom chips to run these games, you know,
yeah,
smoother, whatever.
there's not necessarily such thing as custom chips. The only custom part is the form factor design is how it put together. Allegedly, in this particular custom design is that they put basically a chip, a CPU chip and GPU chip together because of the form factor. They said that I think I saw the video from Linus Six Tips. He mentioned that they were considering a modular design, basically creating it as a PC where you can upgrade it because clearly this cannot be upgraded except storage, obviously, because this is the easiest way to
Yeah, and
upgrade
those
any,
8 gigs of RAMs, I'm not really a fan of that. You know,
well, yeah, VRAM, that's a GPU
like
RAM.
the 8 gigs, that's bad, man.
It is bad, but that's the thing.
Like I don't know why they
The,
did
the,
that.
the- well, I know exactly. I'm about to say it right now because the thing is that, well, allegedly from what I saw is that if you go to well, there's this thing called Steam statistic charts, I guess, based of the hardware survey. I mean,
Hmm.
yes, there's this hardware survey, and it's quite popular. It basically shows the because the Steam sometimes asks you, can we take your hardware statistic survey from you. And basically, what they do is that every year or so, I think, right, they collect basically survey of all the players on Steam and what the specs they use. And allegedly, what they did basically with this particular machine is literally took the most popular specs of the current year and basically made a console of it. There's nothing too special about it. It's just the most average console, power that the average person uses right now. And basically, what it is that was a mid-tier entry graphics card, actually almost exactly as powerful as mine, which is I have a RTX 3060 and one of the AMD processors, which is I think similar to i5, I think from Intel or something like that. The processor, the all of that, hardware discussions a little, all over the place, but it's kind of very also similar in that sense. So everything is basically very average from people already have. So that's kind of my point is that no one, the average person is not gonna be upgrading it. The target again audience of this particular piece of hardware is the new new entries into the
Yeah, I like
market.
I like the I like well, you know how people talk about the Steam Deck not being upgradable, or like you can mess with it. I saw Linus do it too. He messed with it and did a couple things. But I like the fact that the Steam gets like these updates. The Steam Deck gets these updates and it gets improved over with the software and everything, and runs the games even better. From the time that the Steam Deck actually came out, I looked up some research and everything. From the time that the Steam Deck actually came out till now, it's like night and day. It's like the updates that they gave this thing is amazing, and how it runs and how it takes care of all the games and everything. It's amazing, the transition of from when it released to now.
Yeah, and in
And
that
then
sense,
it's what is like 5 years? No, it's like 4 or 5 years old. I don't remember when it first came out, because I
and in
wasn't there
that
the first
sense,
time.
because of this closed nature again, that yeah, it's pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah,
If you have this closed design that isn't upgradable, then you can then you can, for example, do again upgrades with the software, because you already know exactly how's it going, and how you can allocate proper resources properly and make things run better in that sense. But again, it's not upgradable. So if you buy this, it's forever like that.
okay.
So yeah,
So
and
so what do you
yeah.
think? What do you think? Let's talk prices. How much you think? How much you think the Steam machine is gonna cost?
Right, the pricing again, from what I heard, I guess, well, main, I guess my source of information is probably Linus video, but in that video they mentioned that they don't forget it's also a PC, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's their quote of the Valve themselves, where don't forget it's a PC,
yeah,
because it basically, they showed in a video that it can run basically like development programs like Blender, or AutoCAD, or any of those software where you can Photoshop, where you produce, or fucking Pro Tools, if you're into your music,
yeah,
Fruity
yeah.
Loops or whatever. It can still do that too. So don't forget that. As much as it can play the games, it can also do that. It can browse the browser, whatever. It's a PC at the end of the day.
Right.
And what they also mentioned is that they don't want to circumvent their partners. And this is kind of also important in that sense, that who's the partner of Steam, I guess, in that sense, who also releases hardware. Asus, for example, right? MSI, those people who do handhelds, right? That run Steam OS. Those are the partners. And one of the bigger partners, I guess, of Steam, it's also Xbox.
Yeah.
Speaking of console wars again, and because they also have their allegedly, right, that's what they're doing in the future, at least, future maybe partnership, where they planning to release the Xbox with the Steam on it. So this is the also, it's not even a, they also currently have a, currently, what do they have? A Xbox do have a handheld with the Xbox Pass on it or some shit, right now,
Yeah, Game Pass. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The
and
Xbox
also
ROG Ally X.
yeah, and it's also can run Steam, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Of
well,
course.
exactly. And that's their kind of partnership right now. And there's also partnership in the future. So basically, what they're saying is that price are not going to be competing, kind of, it's not going to be infringing on the already pre-established prices of the current consoles, from
Okay.
what I
So what do you
understand.
think?
And
Tell
what
me
I
what you
think is
think,
that,
and tell me what
right,
you heard or whatever. What you think? How much it's gonna be? The Steam machine
right,
first.
right. And I haven't heard any of the price predictions, but from from what I said already, you can safely say that it's going to be around the price of the current current generation of consoles, which is like what, 600 plus
Yeah.
minus
It
100.
started at 500,
Yes.
and now it moved up. Both Xbox is 650, and the PlayStation is, I think PlayStation is 600.
Yes.
And
So
then the
I
Pro
say that
versions are at 700 and change.
I say the prices are going to be plus or minus, plus, it's going to be 600 plus or minus 100. So either 500 if we're lucky, I guess, or 700 if not so much. Also
600.
in
You think
yes,
600?
around 600, yes.
Okay, okay.
700, 500, 600. This is the price range. And
Yeah, yeah.
also, the reason why I say so, because as I said, I have my own PC, which is quite actually similar to Steam machine. And guess what? The price that I build it for, it's around the same price.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it
I
was,
think I
it was
think between now and then, I think that, because console players, because remember, like I said, I think this is targeted to console players, not to PC players, because we all already have our rig, we already have our PCs, and that are way stronger than this, the majority of the people. But for console players, 600 doesn't sound so bad. Like, it doesn't really sound that bad, especially going into the next year, and then also hearing rumors of the Xbox being 1200, the next PlayStation being around 650 to 700. I think 600 is a good price range. I would go as to further to say 550. I
Yeah,
think
well, that
there's a terabyte version of this thing. I think it goes so I think 550 and 600. I think it's gonna be the um the price range because of the
y-
terabyte of storage.
yeah, as I said, the main idea here is try to get to this piece of machine to as many hands as possible. So they will try to push the price like as low as possible. But
Do you think that this thing is gonna sell out like the first week
perhaps
of its release of it people purchasing on through Steam? You think it's gonna sell out?
I I don't want to say I cannot say strongly yes. There is a good possibility that you mentioned yourself with your I mean your friend is considering to buy it,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah, yeah.
so
A lot of yeah, a lot of console
it's
players
already
are very interested.
already kind of tells you that there's a kind of as much as there's a demand out there for that, and people are unironically interested in this. But are they like are they super interested? Because also I hear again also hearing people saying it's good and all, but depending on the price it might break it or make it, and basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So as much as there's interest, there's also not so much interest. There's a
Now, do
very, I
you
say,
think? Let me ask you this
consolidation, I
question.
guess.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think, and this is not going to be targeted more to like Xbox fans, more like to PlayStation fans? Do you think PlayStation fans are going to consider like jumping over here? I mean, I think they're going to keep their PlayStation. I'm not saying they're going to get rid of it or their
Y-
Xbox. I just think
Yeah,
that they're going to buy this,
yeah, with
and
the
then
PlayStation fans, they're a little delusional like that. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking, I mean, PlayStation being the, busting their ass, fucking raw dogging their shit out of them for years, and they, they didn't complain. They actually like that, So
So
in that sense,
do you think that they're gonna take a lot of people from PlayStation or from Xbox? Do you think they're gonna build something where they just like people just transition to over here? And here's the better question. You know how it is once you jump into PC. You know how it gets. It gets to the point where you're like, I don't want to move. Like me personally, I didn't. I thought that when I bought my devices, like when I bought the PlayStation, then I made like a year later, I was like, I'm gonna get the Xbox Series X. Then a year later, I was like, I'm gonna get that Steam Deck. And then like a couple months later, after that, I'm like, bro, I want a PC. And then I got the PC. After I got the PC, I kind of like little by little was getting into PC gaming, and next thing you know, I just didn't want to. I don't even want to touch the other devices anymore. I'm like, I'm good with my Steam Deck, and I'm good with my PC. I think and then how like that plays a part to these console players like me, like what I've experienced. I think a lot of us, especially my friends, a lot of us were like that. Some of my friends are a little bit more strict when it comes to ease of use because they just want, like I said, plug, play, that's it. And this is the thing for them. This is the plug and play that they were been waiting for. Because I'm not saying that they're not interested in playing on PC or playing PC gaming. I just think that they just want this, like I said in the last video, the ease of use. And this is ease of use. This is answering the question. Just the thing about it is like, are they willing to leave PlayStation and just stay here? Or like I said, they could keep their PlayStation. They can keep their Xbox. But once you get into PC gaming, it's a whole other ballpark. It's an addiction. It becomes an addiction,
yeah, and
especially with the Steam sales and everything, and the ecosystem of Steam. It's just like once they get in that, I just think that they're not gonna go back.
the
That's for me.
ironic part, I think that they know that fact, and this
Yeah,
is why this is kind of exactly the reason why I don't want to play, for example, the Red Dead Redemption, because I know it's a good game, and I know I'm gonna get addicted, and I know I'm gonna spend like at least 50 hours on it.
you're gonna
I
love
don't
it.
wanna.
You're gonna
Yes,
love it.
and the reason why I don't play it because I don't want to do that. And
Yeah,
but not, it's just it's kind of ironic like that. And I think console players are like that too. They know that it's a basically a better better thing in any way possible, but just but they
especially with
just
the
don't wanna.
prices going up, especially that. You know, the prices
But
are too much, man.
it's just a good old thing of, you know, you don't just want to change. You want to stay in your comfort zone, and you know,
Yeah, that's another
it's
because yeah, because it begs that question too. Like you're in the ecosystem of PlayStation, you're in the ecosystem of Xbox. I think Xbox players are easier because they can actually grab. Well, PlayStation and Xbox players can actually grab their controller and move right into PC with no problem. It's the ease of use. PlayStation gamers are used to their exclusives and all that, and the ecosystem that PlayStation has. Where Xbox players are more leaning towards PC already. They've been there, but there is Xbox players that love their consoles. That I can tell you for a fact. There is Xbox players that are dedicated, the ones that buy that buy the Xbox every year. So they're gonna be a little bit hard to transition, but I think, or maybe they're gonna wait to see what Xbox has in store. Maybe, you know, that's what I think. But yeah, man. Oh, this is one question I wanted to ask real quick. Um, we always heard this. This is part of console warring, V. But we always heard that PC doesn't count, right? We always
right.
heard that. We always heard this shit. This It's always been a thing. I even said it. I used to say it too. Oh, the game is on PC. Yeah, that does PC doesn't count. It's console. It's console. Right? You have to be a console for it to count. Now, does it count? Does these games count now? Can you officially say, hey, my game is on PC? Yep, it counts. It counts as it's not an exclusive. It counts as it can be played anywhere.
I mean, the reason why, I guess, I
It
don't know.
runs better.
I don't, you know. Point is, but things are changed right now. Because back in the day, there was games on the consoles in the first place to count.
Yeah,
Now there is not.
yeah,
So,
that's
so what was the problem here? But also the reason why, you know, I'm you know, the reason why PC wasn't counted is because, you know, right, I guess, again, you know, there was a games on the, you know, there was exclusives, you know, on the console, so it's not like, you know, it mattered on
yeah,
the PC anyways. But also because PC was always better, and it's not even a competition, okay?
yeah, 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 yeah. But
And
yeah,
it's as simple as that, you know.
yeah. I think, like I said, I agree with you on that one. I think it always counted. You know, it's just that we weren't on it. But now I think it's gonna count more than ever. It's it's in the lineup now with this device. I think it's there. That's it. It's now PC, Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. They're all in the same boat now when it comes to consoles because of this device right here that's coming out from Valve. Um, Another
Yeah, now
question.
instead of a console wars, it's consoles against PC all
Yeah, yeah,
together
yeah.
instead of against each other.
Do you think this is a question for you? Do you think Epic, or even GOG is gonna come out with something like this, like their
No,
own version of it?
no.
Do you think ROG might come out with something like this? Maybe ROG is like, hey, we can do that too. We can the handheld that we have, we can make it into a console like experience. Do you think they're gonna come out with that kind of shit? I mean, let's say if this thing is actually successful.
I mean, that's the funny thing about all those, you know, ROG and MSI companies. They fucking, they just do shit, you know. They just fucking,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
all the popular fucking shit you see, they just copy that shit, put their slap or their name on it, and just fucking sell it. So yeah, there's a good possibility that yeah, they're just gonna have their own
Because think
fucking
about it. Think about it.
MSI box, you know.
Think about it. Like this thing is successful. It sells like hotcakes. They're all gonna be like, we can do this. We can do that. We can make
But
our own little mini PC and hybrid console and sell too. We could make our own controller and do the same thing with Steam. Because that's what happens, right? With phones, everybody starts copying off of each other and make their own version, right?
yeah, yeah,
So the same thing with this. If this is selling like hotcakes, people are gonna copy off each other,
yeah, it's just
especially.
gonna be more expensive, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Definitely. Definitely. That's what I think. I just think that that's gonna happen. I do think that that's gonna happen. I do think that ROG is gonna be like, oh, we're gonna make
I
our own.
mean, it's not even you know, unreasonable to think, because but the problem would be with the Steam Deck is just not, you know, just exactly the same problem with the Steam Deck. It's just, as much as it's a good thing, it's just not powerful enough. You wanna, you know, it runs games, but not it doesn't run them as good as it, you know, as someone might wish it was run. So here those fucking third parties coming in, guys. We have this fucking box. We fucking load that shit up and runs everything. Buy it from now. It's basically
Yeah.
like an open market at this point in that sense. What Steam then tries to, you know, do is is try to corner that bottom line market, I guess. And what the rest of those companies, because that's the thing. I think the from the economic standpoint, I guess the most value you get is in the bottom market to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to you the way you make profits is by selling more things, basically, by not selling less, by selling more. So steam cornering, that's why fucking whatever. That's just a simple economic rule, and even though there is a market for high end stuff, for prices above like $1,000, but it's a very very volatile market at that point, and really you have to have really something exceptional to price anything that is fucking above $1,000 or more, in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So point is that they could try, they could have that shit.
I think they
I
will.
honestly,
Definitely think
not,
they will.
not now that I think about it, I don't know how those even companies exist like that. They always fucking they always sell this like premium shit. Like I don't know who buys that shit. I don't know if they make like profits, how they still make a float. But but I guess fucking it's just yeah. Yeah, fucking. Right. I agree with you 100%. Those third-party companies are gonna
Yeah.
be selling their own versions of this.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
eventually. All right, that's the video, guys. Let us know what you think down in the comment below. Subscribe, guys.
Do not
We're trying to yes, subscribe. Reset,
unsubscribe.
reset, unsubscribe. I say subscribe. Give it a like, guys. Share this video, and we will catch you on the next one. This is Raf204 with,
Very.
and we're out of here.